Super Dave here with another review. Super Dave here with another exciting review, and today we're looking forward to reviewing one of my most anticipated figures of the year, and that is Super 7's Thundercats line Jaga. And finally, there it is out of the shipper box, this awesome Ultimates type packaging that Super 7's given us with that awesome, nice, foiled, embossed Thundercats logo. It's just really cool. It shines in the light there, and it's just awesome. Thundercats there. You have Thundercats here. It says on the box Super 7 age 14 plus. And then if you open up the slip cover, there he is. Oh man, wow, yes. He is awesome, man. It's exciting to see him out. Oh man, out of that slip cover, just even just the picture through the window. Wow, I'm just excited. And look at the art. Oh man, check that out. Look at this, the artwork on the back. That is just so cool. And then you can see the bio there. If you want to pause and read that, you can. Wow. All right, let's break him out of the box and check him out with his accessories, and that can help us explain further. And here we are in what we're pretending to be an outdoor scene on Third Earth, but truthfully here we saw this particular head sculpt in the first episode. He was more in a sci-fi environment on that spaceship, the mothership of the Thundercats, but this was supposedly the younger version of him, even though he's still an older gentleman. This is the younger version that we had seen so far in the series, in the backstory of who this figure is. But there he is with his cloth cape, and we're getting ready to look at accessories, but he also comes with a plastic cape. We'll look at that all in just a moment. But wanted to mention here that when he first makes the appearance, he does not have the helmet on. He doesn't put that helmet on until it's kind of a battle scene where the mutants are attacking the spaceship. So let's go ahead and take a look at Jaga's accessories. Jaga first comes with a pair of clawed hands, as you can see there. Those are really cool. And then his second pair of hands are a pair of hands that will bend horizontally like so, and then he has another pair that are identical to those, but these move vertically, which are good for your sword wielding hands. And speaking of swords, Jaga also comes with the Sword of Omen, both in the extended form as you see here, and in the sleeping form as the eye is asleep as you see here. So this is really cool that he comes with these again. And we got these with Lion-O, but and they're pretty much identical. And going back to hands just for a moment, he comes with another hand that is scene specific. What I mean by that is this is that blanket, that magical blanket or shawl, and it has the sparkles in it. You can even see that it's translucent. I shine a light through it here. It always turns orange when you shine the light on it, but it is red, and it adds sparkles in it because this is from this scene when the Thundercats are on the space shuttle before they get their destination, after Thundera has exploded and Jaga's explaining everything to Lion-O, and then the Thundercats, who are going to be his allies and helpers and trainers and friends through the ordeal of him becoming the new Lord of the Thundercats. Well, they're all naked, and when he casts this shawl or this blanket at them, as you see in this picture of him holding it, he's going to cast this to them, and when he does, they're all clothed with their clothing, which is kind of an armor in a sense. As we said a moment ago, Jaga comes with this head sculpt of him in younger form, and then also he comes with a head sculpt again of him in younger form, but with the helmet on. And you can see a picture of that Jaga here. And then he comes with a third head sculpt of him in older form right before he passes away, and you can tell his cheeks are a little bit more sunken in, his beard's a little bit more sunken into his cheek and his face and his mouth. And there's a picture of him on the cartoon, Exodus cartoon, of him kind of with this look. And the final accessory that Jaga comes with the exception of this cloth wired cape that he's wearing there, is a plastic cape that also has the insignia of the Thundercats on it. And so we'll check him out wearing this plastic cape as well in just a few moments. But now let's take a look at Jaga's articulation. Let's first of all take a look at Jaga's articulation with the younger, you'll say, head sculpt that has him without the helmet. And he's able to look up just slightly there. And he's able to look down. It kind of bounces back, but just slightly able to look down. It kind of will go down a little further, but it bounces back, which is one of those things we've had with Super 7 figures before. He's able to look side to side, and he is able to get some good head pivot, some pretty good head pivot. So that's pretty good. Now, if we take off that head sculpt and pop on the other one, we'll take a look at just this one because I think the other one would be the same as this one. So with this helmeted head, you're going to be able to still look up just slightly, even though it has this caped part on the helmet back here. You're going to be able to look down. Looks like he's looking down a little better than he did with the other head. And then he's able to look side to side and still get pretty good head pivot. So this head actually seems to function a little bit looser and better, more functional than even the bald-headed one, which is kind of surprising when you have this on the back here. But that's really cool, and you can see where they even seamed the cape around back here so that this has like a place to kind of mesh together and kind of blend together. It's really good the way it matches together. Just really well done. I think this well represents Jaga. He looks like he stepped right out of the Thundercats Exodus episode. And as well as, you know, if you put a little, we're going to try this in photos a little bit later on, but if you put a little bit of a blue hue, a light on him, you could even pass off the spirit of Jaga with this figure too. And we'll look at that a little bit, but that's great. Now let's go ahead and look at his arms. Traditional arms for a, you know, MOTU type buck. It's going to be able to go up better than 90 degrees. Of course, 360, bicep swivel, single jointed elbows, but he does have swivel and hinges at the wrist, and like we were sharing earlier with those other hands, he is going to have the up and down motion. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of those now while we're doing it so we can get the full effect. We'll go ahead and pop that in here and put a sword in his hand, and you'll be able to see it here, and those hands are tighter than Lion-O's were. And there we go, we were able to get him in there, heating up that hand a little bit. But look at that, that is awesome. So he's able to actually hold the sword upright like normal, so to speak, but also point the sword forward, which looks really good, or even to point the sword straight up, which is really good, or hold his sword aloft, kind of like in a He-Man style. That's really good. So bravo. I mean, I'm very pleased that they included this type of hinged hands. Excellent. And while we're looking at hands, let's go ahead and look at those gauntlets. They are very cartoon specific. Has that gem there, which he actually did something with that right before he died. It's kind of glowed and kind of you know, I don't know, kind of made him into some kind of mist or substance that kind of dissolved, and that was interesting. And see, the other gauntlet is different. The right-handed gauntlet is different from the left-handed, just like in the cartoon. So that's really good attention to detail. Let's move on ahead to the midsection here. Get these arms out of the way. He is able to rotate at the waist, and that does carry a little bit of a bend then with it to that little singlet type harness part that comes from his crotch area here all the way up into where his cape, whether it's the cloth one or the plastic one, pegs in. You can see that right here. It pegs into place right there. You just peg it in, and that's the same way that you do with the plastic one as well, and that's what holds the cape in place. And you have to kind of get that rubber to peg in to it there so that it holds on a little better. There we go. And then Jaga is also able to crunch forward about that much, and you see kind of where it bunches up a little bit up here. It's going to be a little bit of an issue, but not too much. And then he's going to be able to bend back about that much. So about normal for a MOTU buck, as we see here. And then the same with the legs. He's able to get good split motion. He's able to have thigh rotation right there. He's able to, and you're going to have to watch that rubbery part here because it looks like it's bunching up a little bit, but you are going to be able to kick up about that far, and you're going to be able to get single jointed knees, and then you'll be able to bend up that far with that foot, back down all the way like tiptoes, and get excellent rockers there. So that is good. He's able to kick back a little bit too, not too much, but a little bit. What he does have is he has a knee swivel. So even though you can't do boot cut, you can do a knee swivel, which is the same thing. That's really cool. And that was similar to what we had with the Super 7 Conan, Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan. But that made me think, let me check the elbows. And sure enough, there's also one at the elbows. So that is awesome. You have swivel at the elbow and swivel at the knee. It's a full swivel. So you'll be able to get those stances that you need, and it also allow you to do some things with your Jaga, the sword, that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So that's really cool. And also it's cool to take notice that with this figure there's no pins. See, in the elbow area no pins, or in the leg area no pins. So it has the pinless technology as well as some extra articulation. This figure just keeps getting better and better, guys. Awesome. Now let's check him out equipped with some of his specific accessories. And then there's Jaga, almost identical to the scene, and there's a picture of it there again, of when he cast this blanket onto Lion-O, Panthro, Chitara, Tigra, and the Thunder Kittens, Wily Kit, Wily Cat, for them to be able to be equipped with some clothes that was also kind of enchanted and had some powers to themselves, especially Panthros we know of. And here is the older Jaga head that I have equipped on him now, which has the sunken in cheeks, sunken in eyes a little bit, even the beard a little higher up on his mouth, like we were saying. But some have even said they prefer this head sculpt. Looks even a little bit more like the Jaga that would appear in spirit form, and that very well may be the case. I think both of these head sculpts nail it and do a great job. So either one you prefer. This one shows a little bit more of his mouth, whereas this one, it looks like it's just kind of sunken in more. So, but it does look like that one may be the one that kind of was more accurate to maybe how he looked when he would show up in spirit form, the older version of himself. So this is great. You can decide which one you want to pose him with the most or display him with the most, but that is excellent. Both of these head sculpts, the coloring, just the detail. He looks again like he stepped right out of the cartoon from 1985, especially that Exodus episode. And I just say, well done, Super 7. This is a great ultimate Jaga. Now let's take a look at Jaga alongside some other action figures in comparisons. And there's Jaga next to Lion-O, and they are looking great side by side. It does look like that Lion-O kind of is a little bit thicker and maybe even a little bit just broader in looks, but that's looking great with our Jaga and Lion-O. And then here's Jaga next to Panthro, and they're looking great together. Of course, Panthro is a little stockier and shorter a little bit compared to some of the other Thundercats, which is in scale and is correct, but they look great together. Looking forward to getting some of the other core figures so we can see them all together with Jaga in future reviews, God willing. And here's Jaga and some of the other Thundercats next to Tigra, the Marvel Legends character, and I think she, fits in pretty good with this group. She's a little bit more petite, smaller, but she's like a tiger. She looks like a tiger. She's got the tail. I think she'll go along great with the Thundercats. Looking cool. Tigra. And here's Jaga next to Katrina from MOTU Classics, the Filmation Club Grayskull Filmation style Katrina from the Filmation cartoon. And I had checked her out with, Lion-O and Panthro in their review, and she just fits great with the Thundercats in my opinion, as well as most of the MOTU figures. And here's Jaga beside He-Man, and they're looking great together. Looking super together. I love the way that looks. I enjoy in my Masterverse having the Thundercats really a part of my MOTU universe. And here's my favorite scene. I love it. Here's our Jaga from Thundercats 1985 with our Filmation MOTU group here. Of course, He-Man and Lion-O working together. Look, there's Teela and Katrina together, and even Man-at-Arms with Panthro and Man-at-Arms. I mean, they're just no-brainers. They just fit together. This group just fits together in so many ways in my mind, in my as someone said, my mind canon. But Jaga is looking fabulous with all of them. Loving it. Looking great. Just looking so dope. Looking good. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today for this review. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't. Tell someone about us and come back for some more Thundercats coming up. We got Slive and Captain Cracker, and hopefully more down the line as they're coming out from Super 7. Come back and see us again, and here's some photos from our photo gallery.